Oklahoma coal is nearly as abundant as Oklahoma natural gas, but many places cannot burn coal mined in this state because its high sulfur content puts it above the federal environmental protection standards. There is a limited market for coal anyway, but some people believe coal is the energy resource of the future. Dr. Dale Kerns, a researcher for Westinghouse, says new technology can make coal a cleaner and more flexible resource. The introduction of steam or gases into the coal process can create fuels that burn much like petroleum products. But Kerns doesn't believe that coal will totally replace petroleum.
By no means do I see that coal is the solution. I think we're going to continue to require a mix of fuel resources. Oil and gas, coal, nuclear will all play a very important role. So it's not like we're going to essentially wipe out or substitute coal for natural gas or oil.
Besides the technology, there are other reasons Kerns believes coal is the coming thing. There's 30 times the reserve of coal around the world as there is petroleum, and that reserve is more equitably distributed, so that coal is a resource the entire world can use, but no one can control. Charles Schnitzer, Action 4.
Every day, more and more people are starting their day off by applying for unemployment benefits. For many of the Oklahoma jobless, this is a new and agonizing experience. Could it be that the unemployment benefits are so attractive, some people may not be looking hard enough to find a job? Well, if so, President Reagan may propose to tax unemployment benefits. And what do some Oklahoma City job hunters think about President Reagan's logic?
I think he's ignorant. I really do. All he is, he's for the rich people, and that's it. He just keeps taking from the poor and giving to the rich.
As far as taxing those benefits, I don't think it should be because we've already paid taxes on those. Why should we pay taxes on them twice?
I feel like I'm looking real hard. I can't find a job. I'm normally the type that can find a job very, very easy, but anymore it's just getting real bad.
Many of the unemployed say the president forgets their benefits do eventually run out. So unemployment checks are not the luxury the administration may think they are. Some of those out of work feel just being homeless and without food is enough incentive for them to keep looking for a job. Ed Stewart, Action 4.
Well, I'm a die-hard Oklahoman, so I'll fight for. Well, almost stunned because it was. I always think it's good for people to get together and discuss ideas and to talk about problems. I think there are always some better solutions because of that. So in essence, I'm saying yes, I think there will be some positive things come out of this.
We feel that the sales trends that we've seen over the past year, that meaning a 10% increase, will continue, and we will see that continue on through the Christmas season. We're finding that people are coming out, they are spending the money, and they are turning loose and deciding that they're going to have a good Christmas, and if all the people on television are saying that it's going to be bad next year, well, they're going to have a good Christmas and worry about next year.
look over there on that tester unit and see if you can find the Lexiva box on there. Oh.
99 KLNK stereo with
no real solution to the problems that we have, and which is Europe subsidizing their agricultural products to a very heavy extent, and Japan keeping our products out artificially so that their domestic prices for food products will stay high. And we're disappointed, frankly.
It was very hard for us to compete on the world markets with the structure that we have, so we're real disappointed in the trade negotiations that was held recently in Geneva.
And this is very unfair since we pump so much money into those countries to subsidize them in other respects, such as defense and things of this nature. Now, if it looks to me that if we can't work out a deal on free trade between the agriculture and things of this nature, then maybe we should look at, as a nation here, about cutting off some of the subsidies which we do back them in other areas.
I feel like that this tribe has been crapped upon by BIA, and I don't intend to let it happen, because I feel like that the Seminole Nation has the brain power and the desire to do things on its own.
We have no preference. I mean, they have a constitution there, and it gives them legal stipulations as to how they go about electing their officials.
That track is going to have at least two things. One, the approval of the voters in that county, and secondly, a license granted by the commission.
Circulating a petition and getting the vote prior to the time.
The commission, as far as the regulation, the racing and so forth, and issuing license, yes. But where people get to vote on bringing it into their counties or not, I don't think that the commission should be involved in this one way or the other.
There is probably no greater controversial issue than whether to let women govern their own bodies and rid themselves of an unwanted pregnancy should they want to. It is an issue which affects literally thousands of Oklahoma women each year. The statistics for 1982 have not been compiled, but when looking at last year alone, nearly 10,000 abortions were legally performed and reported. Of those, 2/3 of the women were under 25. 1,200 were under 18. There are 9 abortion clinics in the state and numerous hospitals that offer abortions, and many women go out of state to avoid exposure. All in all, Oklahoma shapes up just like any other state when it concerns the controversial issue of abortion.
Our current reporting system right now is a system which involves them filling out a report or a record on each procedure that's done, and then that's sent to us, and then we tabulate that through a computerized system. Numbers did increase considerably for every year except for 1981.
Should the court decide to restrict abortions, many women will feel restricted.
Well, I've had friends that have had abortions, and most of my friends have been in financial situations where they couldn't really afford to bring up a child in the proper way and give it a good chance in life. And I think it's a shame that a woman can't make her own decisions about her body and a future for herself.
So, if the court restricts abortions in some manner, it has to ask itself whether the restrictions will restrict the number of unwanted pregnancies or abortions. Bella Shaw, Action 4.
I don't know what I'd do without those sweet memories.
81-year-old Clara McGee has lived in Oklahoma since she was 2. Clara can share more than half a century of memories and Oklahoma history. So can many of her friends. These people have lived in Oklahoma for 75 years or more. They've watched history take place. Most were just children when Oklahoma became a state, and now during Oklahoma's 75th Diamond Jubilee celebration, they are recognized as statehood citizens.
I just wonder, how many tears have you wiped away? I wonder, how many backs have you rubbed at night? How many sleepless nights have you had? You are the mighty, you are the super, and we're certainly appreciative of what you have done.
The faculty of Langston University presented each of the statehood citizens with a certificate of recognition. For Clara, it was the memories that made the moment special.
I don't know what I'd do without those sweet memories. Oh, all of them wasn't sweet, you know. It was always something, you know, kind of wasn't so good, you know. I didn't live on flower beds of these, you know. We had some good and some bad, but the best part, I think of the good days we had. I enjoyed it so much.
Debbie Mash, Action 4 in Langston, Oklahoma.
Little Axe School Superintendent Paul Pettigrew testified he allowed the students to express themselves during voluntary preschool sharing sessions. Pettigrew was asked if the Ku Klux Klan or other groups would be allowed to speak at the sharing sessions. The superintendent said they would be allowed to speak if asked to do so by school students and they were not disruptive. Defense attorneys were allowed to call an expert witness before the plaintiffs finished their presentation. Religious writer Dr. Rousas Rushdoony said the Little Axe students who attended the sharing sessions were subjected to extreme peer pressure from the students who chose not to attend. Dr. Rushdoony said America was drifting steadily into fascism. He said children need more Christian role models in their lives. Former Little Axe schoolteacher Estelle Pittman testified that voluntary prayer should be allowed in public schools.
I don't believe in force for anything. Freedom of speech. That's what the Constitution guarantees all people. Freedom of speech and freedom of religion. If they want to pray, if we want to pray, let us pray. Those who don't want to pray, they don't have to pray. I never forced anybody to pray. It's all volunteers. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord.
This is the stuff that candy canes are made of. Great big globs of gooey sugar and corn syrup, colored in Christmas green and red. Of course, they're not quite ready for the tree yet. Those globs are just the stripes. They have to be added to this monstrous mountain of tooth decay. Together, they make one of the biggest candy canes you've ever seen. The monster is then plopped on an assembly line that heats and stretches the cane to the normal size. Soon, it's one long, steady stream of candy. With the help of a cutting blade, it becomes hundreds of candy canes. There are 8 of these lines at the Fine Candy Company. Each puts out an incredible 100,000 canes a day. Multiply that by the days in 11 months, and you've got tons of Christmas tradition. That'll sell.
There's something kind of magic about candy canes that really never loses its magic. It brings back memories that are good and good memories coming up. So there's something kind of magic about a candy cane for most people.
It really is amazing when you think that these candy canes, made right here in Oklahoma City, will be enjoyed at Christmas by people all over the country, even all over the world. Sherry Sellers, Action 4 at the Fine Candy Company.
New safety seals they put on it. It has 3 safety seals that we've seen. The last one being the seal here on the cap, which make it very difficult to get into. If somebody did open it up, it'd be very evident.
This afternoon, city street workers were busy getting their rigs ready for a possible 24-hour shift. Today's prediction for a chance of snow or ice later this weekend has the department worried, and they want to be ready in case a storm does arrive. This is one of the city's salt trucks. It is used to combat the ice. which for motorists is the most dangerous element of a winter storm. Many city commuters count heavily on the street department during this time of the year. And the question now is, are they really ready?
We're here. No, I think we're adequately staffed. I think that we have our, like I said before, we have our routes. Foreseeing any major problems, we should be able to handle a snowstorm at this time.
The city street department has almost 4,000 miles of street to contend with every winter, but the procedure remains the same. And the department says the motorists should be confident that the crews will have the streets ready to go by morning if things get bad tonight. Kevin Ogle, Action 4.
People that will probably be here. The entire department is still set back by this incident. You see, a small department is very close, and as I've said earlier, it's like a family, so we've lost part of our family.
And you will get him?
We know that sooner or later he's going to be captured.
In the past 11 years, more than 60,000 motorists have been arrested for drunk driving in Oklahoma County. 122 people have been killed on Oklahoma's highways this year. 63 of those deaths can be directly attributed to a drunk driver. That's why local law enforcement officials have come up with a new plan. It's called READY, Report Every Drunk Driver Immediately. And the goal of the program is to get citizen support to rid the highways of drunk drivers.
I am so pleased that our Oklahoma City Police Department is joining in, along with the Oklahoma Highway Safety Office and the Highway Patrol and the County Sheriff's Office. I think with the combined personnel of all those departments, we can have a real impact on the number of drinking drivers on the highways, especially over this holiday period.
The READY program is in conjunction with Drunk Driving Awareness Week. Last night, another group, MAD, Mothers Against Drunk Drivers, held a candlelight vigil. Their goal is to make the public more aware of driving under the influence of alcohol. Kurt Autry, Action 4.
Think about all the nice Christmas cliches, the ones about giving and love. Those are the things everyone admires, and those are the Christmas customs most people put into practice with family and close friends.
What is your name? Dana. Hi, Dana. Brandy?
But some people, like students at Hefner Junior High, take it a step farther. For the holidays, they adopt needy children whom they've never even met, but for whom they develop an affection. With the act of giving, they receive a little something of their own.
We raise the money and go shopping for the kids, and I've never had a little sister, so I think it's fun to go shopping for younger kids and everything. See if you can open it? Okay.
Many of the children may not even realize their Christmases have been brightened. But this was only partially for them because the cliches of Christmas are true, and giving brings its own rewards. Charles Schnetzer, Action 4, at Hefner Junior High School.
I don't believe that the fire department has been funded properly. I don't think that there's been enough support from the town government towards the fire department, and they've been depending a lot on donations from the residents themselves.
We have approved a $17,500 budget, 12-month budget for them. 4 years ago, they didn't have a budget.
The sun was up when the last group of buses pulled into the terminal at the Will Rogers World Airport.
All right, man, everybody off the bus. Let's get inside the building.
Hundreds and hundreds of soldiers stepped off the buses in the wee hours, on their way to their favorite duty, going home. Yet for all the people, there was little noise. These men's minds were busy with thoughts of Christmas with the family. Many carried presents for their loved ones as they worked their way towards the ticket counters.
EWA, right in that line there. All right, you can get your boarding passes down there at the gate. Right down there.
The Army gives these men almost 3 weeks off. It knows how important the holiday is.
It's a good morale builder, and everybody, as I said before, likes to spend the Christmas holidays with their family, and it really gives them a boost in their morale. They get to tell their families a little bit about the service, and it makes better for all the families and as well as the soldiers.
There isn't anyone here to wave goodbye to these soldiers as they board. The waves, hugs, and tears will be at the end of the flight. It'll be the beginning of their Christmas. Sherry Sellers, Action 4 at the Will Rogers World Airport.
Party and the treats are waiting for you at the exits if you will.
You can tell the rush is on as soon as you pull into the parking lot because there's no place to park. If that isn't enough indication, step inside the mall. You'll find there's no place to stand. It's wall-to-wall people. They're all moving in packs like cars on an interstate. And try stopping. You'll cause a pedestrian traffic jam. It's all part of the traditional last-minute Christmas shopping spree. Every year it's the same old thing. There's only one difference in 1982, the economy.
I think that what we're seeing this year is just a little bit more cautious shopper. They're looking for the bargains and the values, and certainly the retailers this year have merchandised very well and are very much in tune with the needs of the consumers. I don't think that they're really spending less, perhaps just a little bit more wisely.
As the shoppers scamper through the stores looking for the perfect gift, they're joined by another person who also feels the pressure of the deadline, Santa Claus. Sherry Sellers, Action Forward, Heritage Park Mall.